Right, so we're live now. So welcome everybody and welcome Rumby.
Oh,
So
thank you.
really, really lovely to see you here today with me. I'm so grateful that you decided to join me in today's Wash Day Live. So how are you doing today?
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, Sophie. It's been a long time coming. I've been following you for a little bit on Instagram, and we've kind of had a lot of back and forth in the DM. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, oh, perfect, definitely. And can I just say I love your page so much. Just to start off with, and it just influences me. It like gives me motivation every day. Your page is one of the pages that I just absolutely love to follow. So I'm so excited that you're here with us now. So I know people are going to join on soon. They're going to join on as and when. But just for starters, give me a bit of information about yourself. What's your background and like what kind of like tell me more about yourself in general.
Of course. So my name is Rumby. I'm the face behind Feature Fro. I started Feature Fro last year. Initially, I was providing wash day services in the West Midlands area. So I will come to your home and wash your hair in the comfort of your home because I believe that wash day is an essential part of our natural hair care. And I felt that a lot of people overlook that essentially. And I wanted to provide that service, and people tend to find wash day frustrating and long. So I was providing that service. But obviously, at the moment, that's currently on hold due to the lockdown. But I've just continued to post on my page. I'm very passionate about natural hair care, and also wearing your hair out, styling your hair in different ways. So I just wanted to be there just to inspire somebody. I'm a mom to a 3-year-old, so I've become quite interested in natural hair care for kids. I've learned a lot over the past 3 years with my daughter. So I also share about that on my page. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what I do.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love to hear that. And I like that the fact that you touched upon a couple of things, but I'm going to come back to that throughout the session. So do you like kind of champion the natural hair? And it's something that is so nice to see. And that's one of the reasons I love our connection. And for you, what was the main thing that you remember like growing up? What was the main thing that you remember about actual hair care in general? And what was that kind of the main styles that you used to see growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Zimbabwe. Yeah, up until I was 16, that's when we came to the UK. When I was in primary school, that's when I had my hair. Everybody was relaxed, to be honest. I didn't see a lot of people wearing their natural hair. My mom was quite hesitant to relax my hair. I was probably one of the last people in my class to get my hair relaxed because I literally begged her because I felt out of place with my natural hair. So I was relaxed when I was about 9 or 10. We used to just wear our relaxed hair out or in a pony, or we used to do like African threading styles a lot.
Wow.
That was the style, and I think for the most part, the styles we wore were what was convenient for our mothers as opposed to what our hair actually needed. So, for example, I'd get the African threading style, and it would last, gosh, weeks and weeks, a long time, because that was what was convenient. for our mothers. I didn't get extensions a lot. Maybe once in a while for a special occasion, if there was like a family wedding or something. Other than that, it was mainly the African threading styles. And then when I went to high school, that was at the age of 13, we used to go to like boarding schools. It wasn't like the posh British boarding schools. We have a lot of, they're quite common. A lot of people go to boarding schools back in Africa. So I went to a boarding school, and the rule for some boarding schools back home, we shaved our heads. So for 4 years, don't ask me why. I don't know why. I think they used to think that if you have your hair, you would spend a lot of time doing your hair and not studying. I don't know where that rule came from, but I have a feeling it was probably maybe they believe that natural hair is just a lot of work and for teenagers to deal with. So the best solution is to just chop it all off. So it was like short, like that short.
So yeah, that's like the army. It sounds like what they do in the army. Wow.
Oh, yeah. So
well, not
years,
these days.
Yeah. So for 4 years, I had, very short hair. Would go to school, and then come back home for the holidays. And when you're going back again for the next term, you get your hair cut. So yeah, that's what I dealt with for 4 years. So you could say I was natural for those 4 years.
And how old were you when that happened?
When I went to boarding school, that was 13.
What?
Yeah, 13 up until I was 16.
Wow. And this is the thing, is like when you're that age, especially as a girl, then I remember begging my mum to do my first relaxer at 13, 14. So that must have been, did that feel, kind of having to kind of get rid of something that was your kind of pride and in essence, your crown, your natural crown. How did that, do you remember how that felt, or was that just...
It was very, very strange, because obviously I'd had my hair all my life, although it was relaxed by then, but my hair was a huge part of my my who I was, really. There were some schools where you could keep your hair. Obviously, they had set rules around how you wear the hair, but I didn't get into any of those schools. So there was a bit of, disappointment that I didn't get into those schools where I could keep my hair. So I had to go to the barber, get my hair cut in preparation for school starting, and that was devastating. But I think I felt a bit better once I got to school. And there were loads of everybody looked the same. I felt okay once I was there, and then it just became a part of who I was there, and I got used to the haircuts for those 4 years. But I was so excited when I finished, and then that's when I moved to England then, and then I started to finally grow my hair out.
So was it almost like kind of freedom in that sense, like, and you would have been old enough to kind of now be like, right, I can, now that I'm a teenager, then I can have my own style. So what was like your kind of main style from after that happened? That happening in your, maybe even to now, what has had been like the main kind of choice of hairstyle for you?
So when my hair started growing out, I think for a long time, because of the haircuts, because my hair was always super short, I didn't actually remember what my actual hair looked like or the texture of it. So I remember when it started growing out, I was in a panic mode, because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I meant to do? I hadn't dealt with my hair in such a long time. So it was growing out and it was natural. I don't know what it was. We somehow used to think that in order to grow your hair, it needs to be in extensions. So as soon as I got the length, I was off. I used to get, those Ghana braids, those plaits. They were super tight on the hairline. And I used to get those back to back. Don't ask me why. I used to get braids a lot. And then by the time I got to uni, that's when I started doing weaves, like sewing weaves. Yeah, but that was my hair routine. I was literally going from one style to the other. I don't remember ever giving my hair like a break. If anything, maybe it was like a 2-week break or a week. But I somehow had it in my mind that in order for your hair to grow, it needs to be in a style. And again, the message when I was growing up was your hair is, it's difficult to manage when it's out. It's easier when it's in extensions. When I got a bit of length, I did relax it. Maybe I was 17 when I relaxed it again. So it was relaxed and I was getting these extensions back to back.
Oh wow! And did you a lot of people do, and this is something I've done myself. When you get tricked into you need to relax your hair, then protective style it. Was that something you were doing as well?
Yeah. I never used to allow the the natural hair growth to get any longer than that. It would be gone, and I used to relax it myself. Because I think coming from Zimbabwe, when I was in Zimbabwe, before the haircuts, before I went to high school, I used to go to hairdressers, so they used to relax my hair. But back home, hairdressers are quite cheap. It's normal prices to go and get your hair relaxed or washed and get a set. But when I came here, I found it so expensive. So I never used to go to hairdressers apart from when I used to get braids and stuff. But anything else, relaxing or washing it, I used to do it myself. So I would take my protective style out. I would relax it to take care of the new growth. Maybe give it a week and then go back to get Ghana braids or braids. That was the routine for me, really.
Oh wow, that's amazing! And then I just want to say hi to everyone anyone that's joined or anyone that's going to join later on, and hey to Miss Rebel Jewel. So that's just fascinating. So it's like your hair didn't really get that kind of break in an actual sense, but it was like, did you feel that you were kind of pushed into, or was it something where you felt like it was just a way to conform to actually taking care of hair? It was like something where it was like a false sense of maintaining, being told how our hair should be maintained?
Yeah, I think it was just the messages I got, I think, when I was growing up. And then when I came here as well, everybody was in these Ghana braids or box braids and relaxers. I didn't see anybody with natural hair back then. So it was just conforming. And I just sort of accepted that my hair is difficult. I need to relax it in order for it to be manageable. And in order for it to grow, I need to put in these extensions. That's the only way it will grow. You can't be washing your hair a lot. Those were the messages that I got, and I just simply followed through with it. But I don't think I ever took time to actually listen to my hair. Because my hair wasn't healthy at all. I was just in this, boom, boom, boom routine of get the braids out, relax, get the braids again, but I don't think I ever stopped to really observe my hair or to give it what it needed.
Mm.
Know what it needed.
And to have that kind of relationship with your hair. So it's like Miss Rebel Drew says, both your hair is beautiful. Listening to your hair is important, and it's so true because everyone, even if we have, we all have may have the same hair type. One thing that I don't know if you'll agree with me, Rumby, but a lot of the times, even now, I see a lot of people saying, no, don't wash your hair, don't wash your hair. And I have scalp psoriasis. So it's like when I wasn't washing my hair, I know that did so much. That had a detrimental effect on my hair growth, on my scalp health, because our scalp has a pH level.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you kind of felt like did you feel did you feel kind of different when you were like, no, you know what, I'm going to do a routine that works for me. Did you feel that as the time went along?
Yeah, I think as time went along, I think what finally came when I was in uni second year, I went on study abroad to America, Ohio. Don't ask me how I ended up there.
That's amazing.
So I think I was so naive and young. I ended up in this university. I had a great time there, but it wasn't the most diverse of places. And there was one particular girl on campus. She was Senegalese. We used to do everybody's hair, and she was so expensive. And I think at that time, it finally clicked in my mind. Yeah, I remember paying something like $180 for pick and drop braids. And I think that money paid me so much. It forced me to learn. I started off with learning how to do my own hair, like extensions. And then I think it sort of moved into how I can actually start to listen to my hair and have a routine. And then I also remember seeing a lot of African American girls, although their hair was relaxed. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, their hair looks way healthier than my hair. What are they doing differently? And what they were doing differently was that they had a routine, even with the relaxed hair. That's why their hair was healthy. So I learned a lot from them. I had a few African American friends. I learned a lot from them. Just basic things that I wasn't doing, like washing my hair on a regular basis, protecting my hair at night, having a moisturizing routine. So I started then doing all of that with my relaxed hair. I was there for 6 months. By the time I came back home, my relaxed hair looked a lot different. It was healthier than it had ever been, ever in my life. That was because I never used to look after it. So when I came back home, I was then trying to continue with that routine. I got on YouTube trying to find more tips and tricks of how I can look after my hair, but there weren't many about focused on relaxed hair. But what I found was natural hair care, and there were loads of girls on YouTube, showing us how to look after natural hair. That was back in 2011, I think. And my mind was blown. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually, look after, grow my natural hair out or transition, and it can actually look nice. I tried to transition at that point. I decided I wanted to go natural. I tried to transition, but I'm not the most patient of people. I think I'll be lasted 6 months, and then I got my boyfriend to chop it off. That's how I went natural. So I had my mini after.
You did a big chop.
Yeah,
wow.
It was this short, and yeah, it took me right back to boarding school.
Oh wow, that's guts though. That's like incredible, because it's like that one, you're kind of freeing yourself of the past, but then you're giving yourself, it's like a new kind of journey.
Yeah,
So how did it feel actually going natural?
it
And
was.
was that the kind of the end of like perming
Yeah,
and
that
yeah,
was the
oh,
end for me.
brilliant.
That was the end for me because I quickly realized I learned a lot from YouTube. You know, the bad effects of relaxers on our hair and our hormones and things like that. I learned a lot about actually looking after our natural hair. You know, everything I watched just helped to dispel some of the myths that I had about natural hair. And I think that was, for me, that was probably the first time I seen natural hair like that. Because back home in Zimbabwe, I never saw natural hair growing up. I think I had one auntie who had locks. That was the only sort of image of natural hair or inspiration that I ever saw. But I never saw loose natural hair. So of course, to me, it was never a possibility because I never saw it around me. But now on YouTube, seeing all these many different beautiful women embracing their natural hair, I was like, oh gosh, I definitely want to. I was so curious to want to find out what my own natural hair was like and how I can, look after it and keep it in that natural state. So, so I went natural. I enjoyed my natural hair. I never, I wore it out from the teeny weeny stage until it grew. I enjoyed every stage. I never really sort of tried to hide it under extensions or anything like that. I enjoyed styling it. I just, threw myself right into the deep end.
That's amazing. And this, you know what, YouTube is fascinating. I'm just going to say, hey to Regina, thank you for joining us as well. And that's amazing because it's like YouTube it's like, who knew it would be something? I don't remember. Well, I didn't have YouTube when I was in my teens, but it's like, it's so phenomenal that that was something that made you, because even I can totally relate where you said you didn't see anyone with just their natural hair, and it was like kind of I could totally relate to that because it's like YouTube was the one where I saw natural hair. And it's weird. It gives you a completely different insight. And so you started your natural journey in 2011. So what was kind of like the main things and things that you'd recommend to anyone watching? What would you kind of say was your favorite go-to products? And do you use them now? Is it something that, or have you kind of like, how do you say, evolved your routine?
Yeah, I think my routine has evolved a lot. So I'm on my second journey now. So I went natural in 2011. Back then, I think I was a student when I went natural, so I didn't have a lot of money. I was pretty much doing it on a budget, and I think back then as well, there weren't many natural hair products on the market or that were available in the UK, or if they were super expensive. So my routine was always basic. I think I just used to do like a shea butter mix. Just water. That was my moisturizing routine for a long time because I couldn't afford some of the products. And back then I used to do a lot of DIYs. Like aloe vera, pre-crews and things like that. I used to do a lot of DIYs. I cut my hair again about 2 years ago now after I had my baby. And I've sort of started doing new things now, and my routine looks a lot different. Like I incorporate more leave-in conditioners, which is helping in moisture retention. So I would say it has evolved, I think, as the years have gone on. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible, and I do love a good DIY as well. So that's fantastic. So you was it a big chop you did 2 years ago? Oh no, because I've seen your
Yeah.
post actually. Excuse me, where your hair? Yeah, can I just say your hair is wow.
Oh, thank you, Sophie.
Wow. So I know you mentioned as well about your daughter as well. So was that something that you wanted when you had your daughter? Was that something that you kind of did routines that kind of based like kind of for both of you to use that were they more natural products? Was that something that you kind of shared the same products on your hair as well as your daughter's hair? And then again, like I can imagine as well being a parent having to work in a routine for your daughter. Was that something that you kind of like found easy, or was it kind of trying to find the best products that work for her?
Yeah. So I think for her routine, and her journey, it's been a journey. I think because I'd been natural for a very long time, I was so naive. I just assumed, I'll have my baby. Her hair is going to look exactly like mine. Yeah, I've got this. I've been natural for a long time. But gosh, I don't know what happened. It was my first baby. We had loads of issues with balding because babies lose hair, just like some women lose hair after giving birth. I lost my hair as well. So she lost her hair. Her hair it's a different texture to mine, different density to mine. So I think I struggled with that for a bit. And then throw in there maybe advice from my mom and my mom-in-law on how to look after kids' hair. I was just a mess basically with their hair. Maybe the first 2 years, I didn't really have a routine those first 2 years, and she was balding. It was just a mess. And then for some reason, I just kept on shaving the hair because I gained. My mom and my mom-in-law were like, "Oh, if you shave it will come back," and and all of that. But yeah, I quickly realized there's loads of like natural hair kids pages on Instagram, that I tapped into in desperation, and I quickly learned like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to shave a head 3-4 times. All I need is a routine. So I started a routine when she was about 2. And a routine just consists of washing, conditioning, and moisturizing. That's all I do, and I just do it consistently. So once I started that's when I finally started to see a difference in her hair, and it finally started growing. So it's been a journey with her. I've learned a lot about different natural hair brands and what to look out for when you're considering ingredients to use, because kids' hair and scalps are quite sensitive. You do not want to use particular harmful ingredients on them. So I've learned a lot about that, and how to make sure that the ingredients we choose do what they say, or they are beneficial for their hair care, basically. So it's been a long journey with her, but yeah, it's been a whole year since we started the routine, and we are finding the results. It doesn't happen overnight, but with a routine, consistency, and good products, it's possible.
Definitely. And yeah, consistency is the thing. And that's so amazing. And you know what? I'd just like to say hello to the ladies that have joined as well. So, Lynn, obviously, we know Lynn
Oh,
connected us.
hi,
Hi, Lynn. And Aaliyah as well. So, welcome to you all. And it's such a thing that the simpler the better, I think. Maybe not, I'm not an expert, I don't have children yet, but simple the better, because our scalps naturally generate sebum anyway,
yeah.
so we don't necessarily need to go overboard with what we're putting on children's hair, as it were. It's just sometimes like the lighter the product the better, and just having a
Yes.
routine. So was that something that you found like really worked? And
Yeah.
just even maybe even things like the simple things like detangling, I do really like think that's one of the most overlooked things in a routine. So would you say the detangling part was something, because I know, and this is another thing as well, in the mindset, like I remember when I was a kid, and the first thing I hated was getting my hair done because I didn't want the comb to go through it. So I think the detangling part and is the most important stage of it. So was that something that you found as well that you wanted for your daughter too?
Yeah. I think I quickly learned that it's important to look at their hair care holistically. So you need to consider every part of the routine. I think when she was balding and all of that, just like if somebody's like experiencing hair loss, or your hair isn't, looking the best like it used to. Sometimes we are quick to look for magical products to try and fix things, like, oh, buy this oil and the hair will grow in a week. I quickly realized that that's not possible. And you
Mm,
just put, unnecessary pressure on yourself. The only way that, their hair is going to grow and thrive is if you have a good routine and you do it, properly and thoroughly. So I make sure that I keep her scalp clean by, washing it every week. Because, you can't grow hair if your scalp is flaky or dirty, or you are stretching out wash day. So keeping her scalp clean, conditioning the hair, and detangling, being as gentle as possible. She has low density fine hair, so it's so important for us to look after her strands and to treat them, nicely. We're not rough with it. We finger detangle first and make sure there's enough slip in there. We use aloe vera when we're detangling, or you can use like a good rinse out conditioner, and then following through with the comb after we have finger detangled. And the major part of our routine is also the moisturizing part. So making sure that we stay ahead of the dryness. So we don't necessarily wait for the hair to get dry for us to moisturize it, because when hair gets dry, that's when it's susceptible to breaking, and we don't want that. So we are always, one step ahead, making sure the hair is always moisturized. So that's the approach I've taken. And the most important thing as well is making sure that you accept your child's hair for what it is, because I think you can pass off the vibes if you're not happy with their texture, or you make certain comments about their hair. That's how insecurities start. So we make sure that we always talk positively about her hair, accept the hair for what it is. Every person's hair is different, so I can't expect her hair to look exactly like my hair or to behave in the exact same way as my hair. So even for yourself, accepting your hair for what it is. We don't compare to other people's hair, because she is her own person. You want her to to grow up loving her hair and accepting her hair. Her hair is a major part of her identity. So that's a major part of, you know, how we are trying we are trying to raise a major part of her routine and journey.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm just going to say hi to Keisha, A Way of Life. Thank you for joining us. That's such a big message, because it's like appreciating the texture that the hair is, for one, and also we're all unique in our own way. And
Yeah.
one kind of thing I go by, I do believe in God, and one thing that I do say, God numbered every strand on our head, and that is something that I always go by. That is
Yeah.
something that I do go by. I do honestly believe that, and that's the thing. You're kind of being your daughter's inspiration, because she will be like, oh, you know what? I remember how fun like it was. Like, even obviously, I know she's very young now, but she'll have that kind of memory of, that'll be one of her favorite memories, like having wash days and mum. So I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. That's so inspiring. And then that just sets a platform, or that sets it's kind of breaking the cycle of what we knew as hair care, like how to do hair growing up. So you're kind of like
Oh gosh,
setting
yes.
a foundation, yeah, for your daughter and for the future generations as well. So that's so incredible, and it's just pouring in that positivity into making it normal to appreciate our hair, appreciate hair for what it is. It's a beautiful thing. It's so versatile, and it just comes in all different shapes and sizes, as it were. That's what I like to think. So
Yeah,
I
because
really,
we didn't learn much from our parents when it came to hair care or natural hair specifically. It's not their fault,
no,
because they were working with the knowledge that they had as well.
yeah.
That's the best they knew at that time. But I say we know better now, so we should do better for our kids. There's loads of resources nowadays. You can learn. You can even invest in a hair coach. There's YouTube, there's blogs. You can still learn, even if you are not natural yourself, you can still learn about kids' hair care, and help them to look after their own hair. I always, some people would think, oh gosh, you're just doing the most with this with this little baby. Leave her alone. I'm
No.
sure my mom thinks that sometimes, but I don't think it is, because we look after their skin, we brush their teeth, we have all these other routines. So I don't get why we should just neglect their hair. It's a major part of who they are. So it just follows that you should look after it. So
Yeah, and you know what? It should be something where it's considered the norm. It's something where it shouldn't be torture. I remember, like, only up to a few years ago. I'm just going to say hi to Lorraine, who's just joined us as well. It shouldn't be something where we dread it. I remember a few years ago, only maybe just before I went natural. Hi, Aaliyah. Yes, I remember, like, when I did go natural, I was like, oh no, Sunday's coming up. I've got to wash my hair. But now I absolutely love it. And I'm actually need to change my mind. I knew that I needed to change my mindset, because when I do have children, I need to be comfortable with myself to show them, this is actually love your hair, embrace your hair, so I absolutely love that.
yeah, you're right. It's definitely you need a mindset shift, because already if you're starting first day with, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so long, you're not even going to to take your time when you're like, detangling. You're just going to maybe rush through it. And it's not that's not good for your for your hair. Because if you're, for example, if you're rushing whilst you're detangling, or if you're a bit rough, you're gonna break your hair, you're gonna lose hair. So I like to just see it as part of my self-care. When I'm doing my daughter's hair, it's a chance for us to bond. We talk, we sing,
Wow.
we do all sorts.
That sounds perfect. You know what? When lockdown eases, I'm coming round to yours.
Oh, definitely.
That sounds so fun. That's so amazing. And I don't know if you'll agree with me as well. I personally know that I used to spend, by the time I calculated everything, I'm 34 now, but from when I've been natural for just over a year. I know from that time from when I was like maybe 19 years old up to 30, 32, 33, whatever, I was spending copious amounts of money on weaves, wigs, braids. I mean, even like you said, you spent 180 on doing Ghana braids. I remember spending less than that. So I know that calculating it over that time, the course of those 10 plus years, that I'd spent, but maybe enough to get a deposit for a mortgage.
Oh God.
So I don't know if you'll agree with me, the fact that you're putting that kind of, now it's like, it's nicer to take it back, take it for yourself, do something that you love from home, build a nice routine with your daughter. And then also, have you seen that, has it been more cost effective actually doing the hair care from home as well?
Yes, definitely. I used to spend a lot of money on weaves and braids as well. But I think sometimes in natural hair care, there's a fine line. Because when you watch YouTube, you see all these products. It's a slippery slope down the product junkie slide.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can just watch a video and somebody says, "Oh, this particular product line," and then you go off and buy it, and then next week you're buying again. So I think it's quite important. For me, what changed was when I had that mindset shift, that and learning that there isn't a magical product, because I think maybe a part of me was buying these many products because I was hoping, this leave-in or this oil would, grow my hair quite quickly. When I learned that, I stopped buying, things every single week. So once I stopped that, yes, I can say it's definitely been cost effective, because I just I found the products that work for me. I stick to those products, and to be honest, it's not like I'm refilling them every month. They last me a good while, so that's cost effective. And I'm also learning to balance it out with like more natural products now. Like if you saw me last week, I was trying to do an Ayurvedic mask.
Oh, love it.
I use aloe vera, fresh aloe vera, which is very cheap to buy. So I try and balance it out, or oils. I try and balance it out with some DIYs, and also store-bought products, but also making sure that I'm not buying every single product that I'm seeing out there. So for me, it's been cost effective. I just found my products, I stick to them, I balance it out with my DIYs. And yeah, it's definitely been cost effective. I do get braids, but not not as often as I used to before I went natural. So maybe once or twice a year at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned to do my braids. I
Oh,
do them.
nice.
Yeah, they're not the best looking, but they do the job.
At least if they hold, then that's fine. Because I tried it
Yeah,
myself at home, and you know what? They used to just slip out when I was going to. This was like just before I went natural. I was like, let me try and do twists myself. That was a fail. So
I
it's
think
good if
flopping
you
off
can
down
do
is
it.
still good.
Yeah,
I've refined my
definitely.
skills.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. And I bet they look incredible also. And I'd just like to say, so if you were to recommend that you're using now, I know you've recommended that aloe vera um, the you spoke about the Ayurvedic stuff as well. I love Ayurveda. What kind of product, if you were to recommend it, if some people may not want to do the DIY route, what would you say? Kind of maybe one product or two, maybe a deep conditioner and a shampoo that has worked for you. What products would you say you use at the moment that work best?
Okay. So we use a few different brands, but I do like Root to Tip. It's a UK brand,
Okay.
which is yeah, which is really really good. They do a good shampoo, so I use it on myself. My husband uses it. Use it on the baby as well. Um, yeah, so that's a good shampoo. Root to Tip. They also do a leave-in cream, which is really good as well. Because I do like UK brands. I feel like sometimes they get overshadowed by these massive American brands, which are good, but
Yeah.
it's good to to push for amazing brands. There's also Born Beautiful Naturals. They're another UK brand.
Oh.
They do a good butter, good shampoo as well. And then for deep conditioners, I like Camille Rose, the Algae Renew
Yeah.
deep
Ah,
conditioner. That's a really good
mhm.
conditioner. Another UK brand, Almocado, do a good deep conditioner called the Avocado Moisture Mask. So there's quite, quite a number of good brands and UK brands that are doing well and that that are well versed when it comes to natural hair ingredients that actually work for our hair, and they're formulated
Mm.
by black professionals. It don't
Yeah.
get better than that.
Oh, I love that. And you know what I'm going to do? And what I'll do is we'll converse anyway. I'm going to put the links to those actual pages in the in my YouTube description. So we will talk offline and then I'll get that information from you. But they sound really good. I've heard of Camille Rose, of course, but not the other one. So I'm like, that sounds really good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
something that if anyone wants to purchase, and at least they have like that option as well. So and last things last. This is my last kind of question, and I know we've spoken a lot about mindset and stuff like that. And I know we touched upon like your daughter's hair and just setting up the mindset in general for kind of like the natural hair in general, just appreciating natural hair. So where would you or where do you see the natural hair movement? And it is a movement. I guess it always has been on and off a movement. Where do you see the natural hair movement in maybe 5 years or 10 years time?
I definitely think that there's going to be more naturals. We're already seeing more people deciding to go natural. I think we're seeing more people actually wear their hair out, because I think for a while people used to just hide it under wigs and weaves and braids. But I think as we are seeing like more celebrities, like Lupita, Viola Davis, wearing their natural hair out, I think it's sort of normalizing that we can do that. Be it work or like special occasions, you can look professional or you can look elegant, fun with your own natural hair. I also think that there's definitely a lot more brands, more natural hair brands that are owned by Black creatives being out there, which is amazing. I think there's just going to be a lot of children with beautiful natural hair, because I think what we're seeing now is mums actually investing, time and learning how to look after their kids' natural hair, which is amazing. So I definitely feel like there's going to be, seeing a lot more kids with natural hair, rocking their natural hair. So yeah, I think we're definitely on the right path, which is amazing.
Oh, brilliant. That's fantastic. And it's like that's the most the important thing. And I think even so more with since the pandemic or epidemic, sorry, even with the COVID, it's brought us to a realization that you know what, we don't have those resources, so we must think ahead. We must think like on our feet and not just be kind of complacent about the whole thing. And especially when it comes to the children as well, it's like that's the most beautiful thing I love to see, is like the children being able to just wear their hair as it is, because it may not be in our experience going to school. In general, it was always a case of that, oh, you maybe if you didn't have a relaxer by a certain point when you're a kid, then it was like, oh, why haven't you?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's nice to see the actual reverse. And do you think that will be something that will kind of bring greater change, like even a few years? And do you think YouTube has been one of the greatest resources that we have had to actually be like, you know what, we can actually do this?
Yeah, definitely. I think YouTube was, on the forefront, showing us that, what we can wear our natural hair proudly and we can do all these many different styles. And it's nice to see how things have evolved, because I think now with Instagram, we see maybe more niche pages on like kids' hair care. And I think people are more moving now into like, there's loads of hair coaches, and you can, if you find YouTube, overwhelming, because maybe sometimes it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what will work for your hair, you can get that information on Instagram that's more specific, or you can get a hair coach that can help you to make your own regimen that you can follow easily. So it's been sort of a progression, which I think will just continue to move along.
And the good thing is, if you find that person's page on Instagram, then they generally end up having a YouTube page. So then any traffic relating to that person's page, you're going to get the recommendation for the similar hair type that you have, and that's like the most incredible thing. So,
and I think we're seeing more diversity in the natural hair community, because I think when it started, there was perhaps more African American natural hair YouTubers that maybe had a specific texture, like a curly texture, and we didn't see much, like of the 4C hair. But nowadays, we see a lot of that. We even see like, you know, people with more low density hair being represented as well, which is amazing because we have to accept that natural hair comes in different textures, curl patterns, densities. So it's good that every type of natural hair is represented on social media. So I think that's definitely been good. I'm seeing more of that now.
Yeah, it's definitely true because it's like I know maybe 10 years ago when I was looking at the YouTube, the one channel that I mainly saw was Naptrel85,
Oh,
but
I
I
love
didn't
her.
see, yeah, I love her, but and I couldn't see, I did draw so much inspiration from her, but there was, I was like, where do I find channels that suited more to because I've got finer hair, so my hair strands. So that it's been something where I could, from what it was maybe 10 years ago to how it is now, and I think people like Natural Whitney she was one of the ones that was
She
like
was the
the one that
OG.
kind of started it kind of thing. So yeah, exactly. You know, G for real. So it's so amazing. We've got such a buffet of people to follow to actually take that inspiration from that do our own hair care. So that's wonderful. And you know what I do really love everything that you said today, all your advice, and I'll definitely be linking the products, some of the products that you use. So if anyone wants to try it out or do their research and stuff. So I really do appreciate all the time you've taken today to do this live. And we should definitely do a part two. I'd love that. And yeah, and I'll definitely give all my love to you and your family. A big hug
Thank
to your
you. Thank you,
daughter.
Sophie, for having me.
Yeah, no, anytime. And I want to thank everyone that's joined in today. Thank you so much, ladies. And we will say bye for now. And we look forward to seeing you soon. All right,
Thank
take care.
you.
Anytime. And thank you so much again, Rumby. And you take
All
care.
right. You
All
take
right,
care,
thank
Sophie.
you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.